Yo, what's going on, family? So it's your boy Trey with John today, and I'm going straight into it, guys. We're going to be talking about support, resistance, and how you can identify those key zones in the market so you can start sniping these markets, family. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. Bang! All right, family, let's get straight down to it. So you guys are here to learn about support and resistance, all right? Now, this is super important when it comes to the foreign exchange market, crypto market, stock market, whatever it may be, right? Now, at the end of the day, when you're a trader, right, you want to find the best position to get in for a trade, right? Whether that be a buy or whether that be a sell. At the end of the day, you want to position yourself the best way possible, right? So that you can have the best outcome possible. So with that being said, support and resistance are like the building blocks of trading, right? So what I'm gonna do real fast, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just make two lines real fast, okay? Just make two lines so you guys can fully understand what I'm talking about right here. And at the end of the day, guys, the foreign exchange market or any market, right? It does two movements. I mean, realistically, it does three, but we're gonna talk about two right now. So it makes two movements, right? It goes up and it goes down, right? The other movement is also sideways, right, which is consolidation. But ultimately, right, the market comes up and it hits some type of wall, right? I like to call this the ceiling, the roof, right? It hits some type of resistance, right? That's the proper way or the proper term that we're going to use today, the resistance, right? Once price hits that resistance, it typically falls back down. Now, when it falls down, guys, it usually hits some type of support, right? Now, the support I talk about as like being your floor, right? Now, once you hit that floor, guess what? Price can't go beneath that floor, right? So it bounces off that floor and it has to shoot the opposite direction, right? So usually price will do this all day, right? Shoot up, hit the resistance, shoot down, hit the support, resistance, support, right? And you guys start noticing this pattern, right? Now, as a trader, right, we take what? Buys or sells, right? We want to sell high and we want to buy low. Now, when we're looking for sells, right, we want to sell high. Now, as a trader, you're asking yourself, okay, where is the high point, right? Because price can easily go up, 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 up. You hit the sell right here and it keeps going up and now you're losing the trade, right? We don't want to be in that kind of situation. So the reason why we draw up our support and resistance levels is that so we don't get in those type of situations, right? And I want you guys to understand this too. When it comes to support and resistance, it's not one single line, it's not one specific price point or number, it's a zone, it's a region at the end of the day, right? So as you can see right here, all of these areas, let me go ahead and highlight this with a better color so you guys can really see what I'm highlighting here, right? All these peaks, this is called your resistance. Boom, resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3, 4, 5, and so on, right? These are your resistance points. This is where you typically want to, zoom in the market and really look at it and identify some good, key patterns for you to take it back down, right? Take it for that sell. And then also down here, this is your support area, right? Every time price comes hit the support, you want to look for buys, right? That's when you'll zoom in as well and look for some of those, buying patterns that we'll talk about in later videos, right? But ultimately, once price gets into this area or this region, you're expecting it to go the opposite way, right? That's why it's super, super important for you guys to draw up your support and your resistance. Now, as I mentioned, right, we have price going up and price going down. Sideways, as you guys can see, is ultimately consolidation, right? This is where price is not really breaking out of this zone, so to speak. The zone meaning these two areas, support, resistance, right? It's staying in between it, right? If we break the zone, we go below the support or we go above the resistance. That's breaking the zone, right? So that's just the other direction I want to tell you guys about. But ultimately, guys, support, resistance, that's all there is to it, right? You want to look for areas where price hits that resistance point and immediately falls back down, numerous times. That's strong. So now with that being said, let's erase all of this. Now let's actually look at the actual market, right? Let's check out the market and let's see what we can find here. So today, guys, we're on GBP USD, the Great British Pound versus the US dollar. And I normally go on higher time frames, right? The reason we go on higher time frames is because those areas are respected a lot more than lower time frames, right? So for example, on the 15-minute, guys, every candle that we see here, every Japanese candlestick, these are each worth 15 minutes, right? So these 4 candles right here, this is an hour, right? This is an hour that's already passed, right? So on the 15 minutes, you can get faked out very easily because price moves so fast, right? But on something like the 4-hour, the daily, this is when it gets very, very strong and it's super respected, right? So For example, let's just jump on, or even the hourly. The hourly is also very good. But for example, let's even just jump on, the 4 hour time frame. As you guys can see right here, we're on the 4 hour time frame, and immediately, guys, I'm noticing a resistance, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to grab our rectangle tool, and we're just going to highlight this area right here, right? Now, as you can see, guys, time and time and time again, what happens, right? Price interacts with this region right here, and then we go down, right? We immediately reject off that resistance and we fall, right? Same thing over here. Immediately reject, we fall down. Same thing over here. Immediately reject and we fall down, right? We even had a doji that was presented to us, right? Same thing over here. Look, rejected again, fell down, right? This is the actual live market happening right now. So as you can see, this is a very strong resistance, right? Now this is good because now once you understand that this is a very strong resistance zone, you're always looking for sells here, okay? Now, we're looking for support as well, right? Because with every resistance, we have to find the support. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. And ultimately, guys, you're just going to look for areas that, price comes down and immediately reverses back up, right? These wicks that we see, these are your friends, right? These wicks are really going to show you, where price wants to reject, right? Because price came down, hit this low, boom, reversed up, came back down low again, made a higher low, over here, same thing. We push back up. So this is a pretty good area. So we're going to take this rectangle tool and just do the same thing, grab as many wicks as we can and just kind of stretch it out. Right? So here we have it, right? Here we have our support. Now, I want you guys to also understand when you're dealing with, Forex or any kind of markets in the financial markets, you're not going to always find the most beautiful support, the most beautiful resistance, as you would always want, like kind of in the illustration that I showed you guys earlier. You're going to be able to, find some messy ones, but as long as you understand the concept and the theory of what we're talking about here, that's all that really matters, right? So right here, you can see, along this whole entire area, we respected this, right? We respected that whole entire area. Now over here, same thing, respected. Over here, though, we had a small dip, right? A kind of a fake out. We broke the support, but immediately shot right back up, right? But also pay attention, guys, right? This is the craziest thing too. You take your rectangle tool, right? This is the support that we just saw, right? You take this, right? That's the low that I created. You drag it to the left and check it out. It was also a support over here, right? That's why it's super important to draw your zones, right? So we can stretch this out. Now we have our 4 hour zone, right? Very simple. Now what you guys can do is you can start to go down to lower time frames, right? Also, actually, before we get to lower time frames, guys, I want you to understand whenever we have a support or resistance become an indecision level. And what I mean by indecision level is this, guys. Let's go ahead and just make an illustration for you guys to see. Let me go ahead and get this. Cool. Right? Let's say price does this, right? It comes up and it creates this resistance, right? It creates this resistance right here, right? And obviously we have our support down here. Now, what happens is, price will do this. It'll shoot past the resistance, right? Eventually it'll come back down and respect that resistance, right? Making it now an area of support, right? You guys see that? So right here is the support, which was once resistance, 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 right? That's what we call an indecision level, right? Normally price will come back down and do the same exact thing, right? So when you guys notice these kind of areas, these are key. These are super key. These are very strong areas, right? So right around here, those are very strong areas. So the reason why I brought that up, guys, is because we have a situation very similar to that right here, right? Let me grab my annotation tool again and check it out, fam, right? Resistance right here. You guys see that resistance? Let's actually make this a little bit thicker so you guys can really see what's going on. There you go, right? You see that resistance right here? Well, that was an awful one. Let's just grab this brush, make life a little easy, right? Where's the brush at? And there we go, brush, right? So easy enough right there. Boom, resistance, came down, support, right? So price broke this level of support. The moment you noticed it broke the level of support, you're wondering, okay, how far will it go? Guess what? It's going to go to a recent support, which is right here, right? Easy. You could have easily caught that buy back up. So, you want to pay attention to indecision levels like that. So let's bring it on back, right? But now that you got that on the 4 hour, guys, you guys can go in smaller time frames now. Let's jump on like the 1 hour, for example, right? Now you can look for some more zones, right? Now check this out, guys. Let's go ahead and grab our rectangle tool again, right? And now look, another zone of support, right? support, you drag it along, and now look, it was respected again right here, right? Let's actually change this color, right, and make it something different so that we know it's a 1 hour support. Right now, look at this, 1 hour support created, right? That's why it's super important to draw these zones out, fam, right? So that you know where the market is going. You want to know where the market is going at most times or at all times so that you can really understand and take your trades, to specific levels. And the way I trade is that I just take them to zone, right? So for example, if price were to, for example, let's go ahead and grab our brush tool again. If price were, for example, come down here, break this, right? I'm looking for it to come back up, retest this zone. I catch my sell, and then I'm taking it all the way down to this next zone. Very, very simple, right? Let's go ahead and grab the short position, right? Stop loss right above this recent high. Take profit in this zone, right? And as you can see, let's see what kind of risk to reward ratio. This is a 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2.5. Pretty decent. We can bring it down a little bit more if you want to the very low over here, right? Now you made it a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. That's an amazing trade to take. I'll take this every single time, right? So super important for you guys to draw your zones, right? And like I mentioned, sometimes price action is not going to be so amazing, something like this where it's not so apparent, right? Because you have some resistance right here, right here, right here, it's kind of all over the place. But when you find some clear ones, right? I like to trade the clear levels, something like this, right? That's very clear that it's a support. Those are the ones I like to mark up. And if we drag this back, look at that. It was once an area of resistance again, resistance, right? Over here, resistance. So, it just lets you know that this area is still very, very strong. Drag it all the way across again, we still have some more resistance, right? So it lets you know that this area is super strong in decision level on the 1 hour, right? And then guess what, guys? You jump on the 15-minute time frame. This is normally where I look for my trades, and you catch that entry, right? Wherever it's going. So for example, let's say this, right? Let's replay it back, right? Let's say we notice this resistance, 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 resistance. And if we go ahead and zoom on in, you guys are going to notice, right? Look at the wicks happening, wicks happening, wicks happening, bearish engulfing, easily prices shooting below, right? It's going down from that resistance. Same thing over here, wicks, consolidation. Whenever you see this slow consolidation, price is getting ready to move down, right? And you guys are noticing this, right? We have a double top over here. So over here, you're like, all right, I'm preparing for a sell, right? But look at the massive momentum of these blue candles. Massive momentum, massive momentum. This tells me, okay, maybe price wants to actually break this zone, right? Maybe it wants to break this zone. So we're going to wait it out, right? We got a 1 wick being thrown, right? We got these lows being formed, some support right here, right? This little micro support. You wait it out. Another bullish engulfing, guys, right? So look, we have a bullish engulfing over here, a bullish engulfing over here, right? And then another bullish engulfing right here, right? 3 bullish engulfing. This is letting us know it's going to break this zone, guys. It's not going to throw all these bullish engulfings for no reason and then reverse, right? So we're going to wait it out. And look, price breaks above that zone. So now what are you guys waiting for? You're waiting for price to come back down to this zone, right? On the 15-minute, then you want to wait for any signs that show you price is going back up, either a break of market structure, a W pattern, things like that, inverse head and shoulders, and then you take it back up, right? Very simple. So we're going to wait it out, right? See what price wants to do. And this is where, patience comes into play, when it comes to being a Forex trader. Now, here we go. Let's check it out. So price came down into this zone, right? Created a support right here, right? A recent low, came back down, right? Created another low, but then immediately shot back up. A very strong move to the upside, right? The moment I noticed that, guys, I'm looking to get in on this trade, right? Now you're probably thinking, where should I get in on this trade? Guys, the same rules apply that I was just showing you, where resistance becomes support, right? So if you pay attention right here, let's grab this rectangle tool. Check it out. You see this red candle right here, right? You grab this candle, top of the wick to the body. You stretch it out. You wait till price gets back in the zone. Price gets in the zone right here on that blue candle. And guys, you can go ahead and enter. Usually I like to wait for a red candle to appear, like an actual low, and then the blue candle showing me prices wants to shoot back up, and then I'll get in, right? But we can even jump in right here, right? Price showed you a sign of rejection in this area. You see that sign of rejection? Cool. I'm jumping in this position. Long position. Boom, we get in the trade, right? You have two areas of a stop loss. You can go below this low, right, which is about 6 pips stop loss, pretty premature. Or, keep it safe if you want to. Shoot for, maybe this low or down here, a cool little 15 pips, nothing too crazy. And then you aim for the next zone, guys. That next zone being this red area right here. Boom, right? You can aim for these double tops if you wanted to. Aim for these double tops. 63 pips, and you're losing only 15, right? A 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. This is a really good risk to reward. You play it out, and we'll see what happens. Right? Price is making its way up. Making its way up, making its way up, making its way up. Massive momentum, massive momentum. Let's go ahead and stretch it out more. Right here, we kind of got wicked out, guys. Right? Kind of got wicked out. And it's okay. That happens. It's trading, right? It's just things that you got to take into account, right? Maybe we can put it next to this low, right? Because this is the actual true low, right? At the same time, we're risking 22, almost 23 pips, and we still are above a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. So that's great, right? So something to keep in mind, right? And I don't even mind showing you guys that I got stopped out right here, right? Transparency at the end of the day, right? Wait it out, and look, boom, TP hit, TP smashed, good to go, right? So that's how you guys can use support and resistance zones, but key zones, right, to really understand where the market is going and when to get in for the best possible scenario. All right, guys. So with that being said, that's the end of this session. That's the end of this video. I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, family. I'm doing these videos more frequently now. I'm going to give you guys amazing value. So if you guys want to see anything else from me, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Also follow me on Instagram, guys, at Trade with John, and get plugged in, family. Love you guys. Peace.